All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Francisco Ruvalcaba Jr. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Having a little issue, which is not me personally, but one of my clients. So I want to talk about a little bit. All right. So if you own a home and you decide to do a divorce yourself, like you go online and you do it online and whatever, and then you go through the court system and you have a house together, but your divorce decree or your marriage settlement agreement doesn't say anything about it because your kids are older and they're not So the issue is it's a problem.
Yeah.
Can be down the road. I have a client who did this. They were working together to do something with the house, but they got divorced, didn't do anything and say anything about the house. It was joint tenancy, but then what happened was she passed away suddenly right after the divorce, has a kid. Well, once you divorce, and then if you pass away, that title becomes tenants in common, which means she owns 50%, he owns 50%. Her 50% goes to her heirs. And if it doesn't have an heir, it has to go through probate. And the problem is most people don't have to go through probate because of it's under $100,000. And that's probably what it was at the time. But because what happened, it's going to have to go through because title's not going to do anything on it. They're worried about a lien on title.
Right.
So it was easy, done all the way through, fast refinance, and then last minute because title finally woke up and looked at everything.
Man, it's all that stuff. I think
so you got it. What I'm getting at is don't do your own divorce if you have a house.
Yeah.
It's like doing your own taxes it's just not worth it. You could, yes, you save a little bit of money, but look what happens. Now you got to go through probate.
Yeah. Probate's a pain too. Like that's the biggest thing. I try to tell my clients like to set up also trust.
Like, right. The issue is there's only one child. So the question really is it's got to go through probably attorney, this and that, and get done. But there's two properties. There's this property, and then there's a piece of property that's just a piece of land. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to be an issue now with the land too. Well, it's going to have to go through. So then they agree to what she owes, she gets, right? Because it was supposed to be done before, but now he's just deciding to take care of it. He wants to pay her off. It's not a question, but the divorce decree doesn't say there's any kids.
Man,
because they're older.
Right. That's like, and those are the biggest things too that is unfortunate. Like even with like probates, right? Like when I tell people like go and get a trust, it's already a heartache itself when like someone passes, right? So then imagine on top of that having to deal with the probate process. Like it's already like an emotional like messed up time for a lot of people. And then on top of that having to like figure all that out and all the boiling down to the money, it's do your due diligence, look into all those things. And like Ed said too, if it's something where you're trying to get a divorce, like something very legal like that, like go get advice.
Well, yeah, because I mean, now you have a house that you split 50-50, but you're getting divorced first.
Yeah.
They should have done a refinance and bought her out originally and then took her off title. You follow me?
Yeah.
Before and paid her off, but no one expecting her to pass away suddenly. And so I was talking to him over the weekend and he's like, we were amicable. That's why we didn't talk about it. The judge didn't say anything. Well, the judge isn't going to go, did you take care of your property? Right? He's not going to know. He's going to say everything. You agree to everything on here? Yes. All right. You're out of here.
Done. Slam the gavel.
It's not his job to make sure you did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like same thing too, it just, and that's not like a bad issue, right? But like imagine if there were like multiple kids and then like, then it gets even stickier.
Well, here I have another one that these people did a refinance. In order to qualify for the refinance, they added on their stepdad. Okay. And so everything was it was joint tenancy, right? It was what they supposedly were thinking. It went through a local real escrow company. Us lending side don't do anything with the grant deed. That's not our job to make sure it's filled out properly. That is escrow and the client's job, not our job. Our job is a loan. Well, the escrow company, when they did the grant deed, didn't put how so they put everybody on there, but they didn't say joint tenancy. So if you don't put anything on there, it defaults to tenants in common, which is usually not a big deal. But the problem is now they all own a third.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 of them on there, him and his wife, and then the stepdad. Stepdad passes away. Now his 1/3 goes to his kids.
Wow. Okay.
which it wasn't supposed to. He was just being nice to help out so they could refinance.
So is it like,
so
is
what
it-
I'm getting is be careful on the title stuff when you're taking title to make sure the title is done properly.
yeah. I mean, even in that case, like they could still address it, right? But it's like, how are you going to qualify by yourself?
Or address it. Well, the problem is, so that was all done, right? The one I was talking about, right? So now his heirs want, his kids potentially could want some money for the house. Well, I went back to escrow company and said, hey, you guys messed up. And they're like, well, they signed it. That's no answer.
No,
You're the one to make sure that they sign the grant deed in the docs. You created the grant deed. That we, the lenders, don't come up with how they take it. That's escrow's job up here.
we're supposed to ask them, no?
Like
Hey,
they
how do you want
have
this
them fill
vested?
out a form, and
Yeah.
then that's how it fills out. But if they don't fill the form out right, why are you putting it on them? It's not the client's job to understand that.
Yeah.
Or I should say, the client's not going to understand what joint tenancy is, tenants in common, community property with right of survivorship. They're not going to understand what is best for them. So escrow is going to, well, talk to your attorney.
Yeah.
What if I don't have an attorney for a trust? So that's the problem. So but there should be something on there. If there's not, I'm just letting you know, it defaults to tenant in common, period, in California. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
Right.
They had a joint tenancy before the first one I was talking about before she passed away, but because they're into the divorce and everything, then it goes to tenants in common, according to the title company.
Yeah.
And my problem with title companies, start looking at the stuff ahead of time. Don't look at it right before closing.
Yeah.
Because if we would have known this, I could have worked on it a long time ago. But I didn't know the whole story.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, again, I'm pretty sure, because even when I purchased my place recently, it's like they ask you how you want it to be vested. I mean, it's part of it.
I know, but it
wasn't for them.
Well, the first one that was, I'm not going to tell you who the escrow company is, but she did a lot, but I guess they messed up a lot. So, yeah.
No, it's like, be careful.
Yes.
Really, like, and that's another thing too.
But don't blame the loan officer that was done wrong because they picked the escrow company. Well, I guess you could, because I picked the wrong escrow company.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's granted, I mean, everything does also fall upon like the buyer, right? Like, I know nowadays people want to, like, not like that it falls on them, but it's like, it just goes to highlight how important it is to really like look and review your documents. Like nowadays it's scary. With digital signing and stuff, I mean, I send stuff out and some people send it back in seconds.
Right, they don't read it.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way you read it. And I'll literally call them. I'll be like, please, like, actually look at it, review it, ask me if you have any questions, because there were times where like I almost felt like I had to go through it all with them, but it's not efficient. And the bigger thing is like, it is pretty straightforward, right? It's just, there's going to be questions that'll come up. But yeah, sometimes people, I mean, I did it myself.
You gotta read. I mean, that's the problem. They send it to you so many times electronically so that they can't say I haven't seen that before. We signed it 14 times. You tell me you didn't read it any of those 14 times? No. Well, you need to next time. And by the way, that loan that had the problem with the stepdad, that was done by the company that has that rocket or whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of it. So, yeah. So again, go through professionals. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's the company that has that loan.
Yeah. I mean, and granted, with us and everything too, I mean, we're straight shooters. Like, it's another thing too, is like, that's where I think representation matters like a lot for a lot of people is, unfortunately, and I always would tell people that I'd work with, like, I understand where the bad rap comes for like some agents and lenders and stuff, like, or not even for some, but just like the
car salesmen.
Right. It's like, it almost kind of falls within the same like realm of like, people are like, like it's just caring about
money,
the money. Yeah. Like, we can genuinely say, like, I mean, obviously we all need to put food on our tables and clothes on our back, have a roof over our head. At the end of the day, everybody does that. We're all working to fulfill our needs and everything. But, we can genuinely say, like, we're actually there caring for you, helping you, guiding you. And that's the most important part. Like, I always tell my clients, I am the co-pilot. The client is always the pilot, right? We're just there guiding and advising and trying to make sure that they make the best decision possible. But at the end of the day, you're making it.
Right. And you can make a mistake, and you can go after people for the mistake that was made. If, they should advise you differently. I get all that. There's so many, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's like,
because it is our responsibility to make sure our clients are taken care of and made whole. Right. So yes, just be careful. All I'm getting at is title's important, period. Make sure you get advice on it from your attorney. Make sure if you're going to have a grand deed done, make sure it's done properly the way that you want it. Don't sign it just because someone says sign this.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Because the notary's not going to know. Notaries don't even explain anything anymore. Gone are the day the notary would go, this is what this document is, and this is what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Those are far and few between.
Yeah, no.
You're lucky to find 1 out of 10 that will do that now.
Yeah, it's funny. I had actually been trying to get some stuff sorted out for someone, and it's like, I mean, the way it's a Jim over at our office, he helps us out like with a lot of our documents and stuff like that. And he was even saying, I mean, at the end of the day, the notary is just there to be like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I saw it happen.
Right. That's all. They're only there to say that these people signed.
Yeah.
But most notaries only get $10 per signature for the forms that they sign per form. So you're talking $40 per, so $80 max. They get a little bit more than that for the signing to make sure all the documents are signed.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Yeah. Or maybe it's $25 a signature now. I don't know. It's been a while since I was a notary. Yeah. A long while.
I think it's a cool gig. Some people
make some good money doing it. All right. Anything else you want to add today?
No.
No.
Make sure. No, I think we hit everything pretty good on that. Other than that, granted, I mean, as we were talking about, like on the previous episode this week, is to still just continuously be active and looking. There are opportunities out there. So go out and put your best foot forward and just stay up on the market. Even if you're like concerned right now, at least just keep looking and see what's going on. Like, be active so you know what's happening.
Yeah, because there's a lot of opportunities out there. People just get so discouraged. Don't because if you stay going forward on it, you're going to beat out somebody else because other people are getting discouraged.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to step in front of them. It's like right at the end of the race, and that person's right in front of you, and they trip, and you go past them.
Yeah.
You ever had that?
No,
you never raced, huh?
No. But
in a car, that's like when they can't get the clutch in right, and you pass them. You ever had that happen?
Yeah, I don't do street races.
I didn't say you did back in the day, a long time ago.
Yeah. No. But I mean, it's just as simple as like even like Warren Buffett, right? Like, buy when there's blood in the streets. Everyone's scared right now. There's panic.
Right. People who are smart are buying when people are scared, and people who are smart sell when people are crazily buying stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Make it a great day. Thanks for being here, Francisco Ruvalcaba Jr.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. If you like what we do here, like what we say, just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Parcaut, Real Estate Jerky, and Francisco Ruvalcaba. Make it a great